Hello, children. How are you all? I hope you all are doing fine and taking good care of yourself, washing your hands regularly, using sanitizers, and staying at home. That's good. So, today, as we have social science class, we are going to start with history. See, children, the only thing that is constant is change. And when we study history, what we are actually doing? We are tracing changes through ages and then we are understanding that how we have got here. So today, our first chapter is tracing changes through 1,000 years. Now, before we begin with the chapter, let me tell you that in class 6, you have read about ancient history. In class 8, you will read about modern history. And this year in class 7, you are going to read about medieval history. Medieval period started from 6th century and ended in 16th century with the start of the Mughal Empire in 1526. As the name of the chapter suggests, we are going to talk about the variety of changes that took place in the 1,000 years of Indian medieval history. And the first change is regarding the use of maps. During the medieval times, there was an art of map making, which is known as cartography, which became prevalent, and as a result, one of the most famous maps were given by Al-Idrisi, who was an Arab geographer. The map was made in 1154 CE, and his maps were very precise and was also considered for nearly 3 centuries. In this map, South India is where we would expect to find North India, which means that the most interesting fact about this map is that his map is little bit upside down, which means that Sri Lanka is on the top and India is on the bottom. Now, you might not have heard about this man Al-Idrisi, so I'll show you some glimpse about him. Let's see this video.
The entertainment for he who longs to travel the world was an Arabic geographical book written in Sicily in the year 1154 by the Muslim scholar Abu Abdullah Muhammad al-Idrisi al-Qurtubi al-Hasani al-Sabti, also known to the West as Dirasis. He was a geographer, cartographer, and Egyptologist who lived in Sicily during the reign of King Roger II. In the year 1139, Al-Idrisi took a globe depicting the world to the court of King Roger. Al-Idrisi's book contained 70 regional maps, including his renowned circular world map. 500 years before that realization dawned upon Galileo, Muslim scholars took it for granted that the earth was spherical. Ibn Hazm famously noted that the sun is always vertical to a particular spot on earth.
Now, after Al-Idrisi came the French cartographer with his second map. This map was made nearly 600 years after map 1. It was drawn in 1720s. Now look at this map, children. This map is quite similar that we use today. In this map, Sri Lanka is at the south of India. This map was used by European sailors and merchants on their voyages. See, children, all these maps mention the Indian subcontinent and helped us to understand the economy and social life of the people in a very clear way. And so, therefore, it became easier for the invaders to have an exact idea about a country, and they started to invade our country. New and old terminologies. Since there is a gap of 200 years between the two cartographers, the terminologies also changed over time. So, the meaning of the term Hindustan has changed over the centuries. For example, Persian chronicler Minhaji Isras, according to him, the areas of Punjab, Haryana and the lands between Ganga and Yamuna is called Hindustan. Basically, according to him, the areas under Delhi Sultanate are called Hindustan. The chronicler means one who keeps record of the past events. Okay. Babur, the geography, the fauna and the culture of the people of the country. The culture of the people of this subcontinent is known as Hindustan. Amir Khusrau has given the word Hind. He has used this word Hind for the first time. And today, the modern India, like we have two concepts before us, medieval India and modern India. In modern India, we call India as India, and in medieval India it is known as Hindustan. So the modern state is known as India. Today we call it India. So the next example is of the meaning of the term foreigner has also changed over the centuries. See children, at this time, in the present time, if a person has come from New York or from Australia, he would be considered as foreigner to us, right? So someone who is not an Indian is called foreigner. But in earlier days, in ancient times, what was the definition of foreigner? A stranger who was not a part of a society or culture is called foreigner. For example, if a person has gone to Baroda from Ahmedabad, he would be considered as foreigner in Baroda. Okay, clear? How do we get to know about medieval times? So there are various sources through which we can get to know about medieval period. Some of the major sources are coins, medieval coins, inscriptions, architecture, textual record. Textual record means there was no printing press at that time and paper was so cheap at that time. During those days, paper became very cheaper and it was easily available. People used paper to write holy text, letters, teaching of sayings, judicial records, and for registers of taxes also. Now manuscripts. Manuscripts are collected by wealthy people. Manuscripts are handwritten record given by the ruler. As there was no printing press at that time, scribes used to copy the original manuscripts by hand. But what happened? There was a drastic change in the original manuscripts. And then there was archives. However, archives is a place to keep manuscripts that they had written. What are the difficulties that historians has faced in using manuscripts? Scribes introduced many changes in the manuscripts while copying because of less handwriting, legible handwriting, misinterpretation and exaggeration of facts. The small but significant changes grew over centuries until manuscripts of the same text became different from one another and original manuscripts were rarely found. Okay, that original manuscripts were rarely found and as a result, historians have to read different manuscript version of the same text. Now, there are some innovations that took place during that period, like forest lifestyle change into agricultural and new things coming up. During that time, there were sudden changes in the form of society and socio and economical life. And those changes are Persian wheel for irrigation, next spinning wheel for weaving, next firearms for combat, and new crops, mainly corn, chili, potato, tea and coffee. These were the new crops that were discovered at that time. That's all for today. In the next video, we will be continuing with the same chapter. Till then, take care and study well. Bye-bye.